Well, good morning, and welcome to the California Department of Justice's Jan Bashinsky DNA Laboratory. Thank you for being here and taking a moment to reflect with us on the story and life of a member of the Richmond community who was tragically murdered more than 20 years ago. Before I introduce our speakers and provide an overview of the California DOJ's role in helping solve this cold case, first and foremost, I want to acknowledge the family members of the victim, Mika Wadley, who join us here today. To Mika's family and loved ones, I hope today brings a measure of peace and of closure. Nothing can ever bring back a loved one, but we're committed to doing all we can to help bring the truth to light in the fight for and pursuit of justice. I'm joined here today by Dinah Becton, Contra Costa District Attorney, Louis Torona, Acting Chief, Richmond Police Department, Davina Peterson, Mika Wadley's niece, and Pamela Hofsass, Chief Contra Costa Crime Lab Forensic Services Division. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the members of my skilled team with the Department of Justice's Bureau of Forensic Services and our Bureau of Investigation, along with our partners at the Richmond Police Department, Contra Costa Crime Lab, and the Contra Costa District Attorney's Office Cold Case Unsolved Homicide Unit. Today is a major testament to all the individuals and agencies I just mentioned, and it is also a testament to the determination of our state's investigators, forensic scientists, and our law enforcement partners. When crime is committed, we will leave no stone unturned to secure justice and find the truth. In a moment, I'll hand things over to our partners at the Richmond Police Department to talk through how this case was solved. But what I will say is that over the course of more than 2 decades, law enforcement working this case, they never gave up. They kept working it. They never gave up for Mika's family, and I'm proud of our team at DOJ for helping secure closure in this case, including the scientists, the analysts, and staff who work right here in this building, in this lab. This lab is one of a dozen across the state that we operate at Department of Justice. Our laboratory network provides assistance to local law enforcement agencies in 46 of the state's counties through DNA analysis, toxicology, ballistics, laboratory services, and more. But what makes this laboratory special is that this is where we house the state's DNA data bank, missing persons DNA program, and a DNA casework section. And that's why we're here. It was our familial search DNA program, right here, that developed a critical lead to identify the individual responsible for Mika's murder. By comparing DNA evidence from the case to the DNA of convicted offenders in the state's DNA data bank, we were able to establish a list of likely first-degree relatives of the person responsible for Mika's murder, and ultimately helped our partners identify him. I'm incredibly proud of the work done by our familial search DNA program and all of the experts and agents who contribute to this work. When law enforcement have exhausted their leads, the familial search DNA program can help open up new critical avenues of investigation, from helping take down the grim sleeper to developing leads in a fake kidnapping case. Our familial search program has a track record of success, and it is just one of a number of important tools that we have available in the fight for justice. Whether it's through toxicology analysis or our missing persons section, our labs work day in and day out to support our law enforcement partners all across the state. And while our efforts being shared today bring some closure, they can't bring Mika back. Her life mattered, and it was horrifically cut too short. She would have turned 50 this month, but she was unfairly denied that milestone. In memory of Mika and all those who have been victims of crime at the DOJ, we will continue to fight to make our communities safer. We will continue to stand up and support survivors of crime and their families, and we will continue to bring the truth to light in the fight for justice. Thank you, and now I'd like to introduce Acting Chief Torona to talk more about this case.
Good morning. My name is Louis Torona. I'm the Acting Chief of Police of the Richmond Police Department. Thank you to everyone here. I want to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the members of the Richmond Police Department, the Contra Costa County District Attorney's Office, the Contra Costa County Crime Lab, and the California Department of Justice Bureau of Forensics, who all played pivotal roles in solving this decades-old murder. To Micah's family and friends, nothing can make up for this tragic loss. But I hope that these efforts bring some sense of closure for all of you. May Micah Wadley finally rest in peace. As Socrates said, nothing is to be preferred before justice. And Marcus Aurelius himself said that justice is the source of all virtue. We at the Richmond Police Department, and I think I can speak for all of our partners in law enforcement, are committed to relentlessly seeking justice for all crime victims in our communities. We will never rest until justice is done. I want to especially mention the two primary detectives who investigated this case in 1999, Detective Lori Curran, Detective Dominic Medina, and also thanks to retired Lieutenant Stina Johansson and our current homicide sergeant, Aaron Pomeroy, for continuing to work on this case, even when leads were very scant. They worked with the crime lab to finally bring closure to this case, and I can't thank them enough. Now I'd like to introduce Devonay Peterson, Micah's niece. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Who is Micah? My aunt to me is the greatest person in this world, one of a kind and one in a million. She's a creator, gave life to a beautiful little girl. She was a daughter, a granddaughter, a sister, a mother. She was an auntie, a cousin, a friend. She had the biggest heart with the most caring touch, which she shares with so many of us. Her soul is made of pure love, yet she's worth way more than gold. In my eyes, she will always be the most beautiful person to walk this earth. I lack words to describe her. Perfect is what makes her. Her smile can lift the world, and her tear can destroy the earth. She loved everyone and doesn't know what hate is. She was as beautiful as heaven and leaves a sparkle wherever she goes. She has so many dreams she wasn't able to fulfill. She's the one and only, the goddess, the beauty, the angel, the queen, whose life was taken. Some people might think this is closure for us, but it still leaves us with why. Why her? She would even hurt a fly. So young, so sweet, she was innocent. Never in a million years I thought something like this can happen to one of mine. It's like something you only see or hear about in movies, but yet this is our reality. But what I can say, after all these years, she can finally rest in peace. Knowing her family knows who murdered her. We will love you, we miss you, always and forever. Now I will hand it over to Pamela. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pam Hofsass. I'm the chief of the crime lab at the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office. I'm honored to be here to provide just a little inkling of what we do at the crime lab and how it really takes a village to get to the bottom of these cold cases, the options that are there for detectives, and also to thank everyone that participated in the investigative efforts. Firstly, familial search is very different from genealogy, so let's just get that straight right off the bat. It's not like on TV, things don't happen instantly, but we have worked at the crime lab, at the Sheriff's Crime Lab since 2000 on this case, and analyzing several items of evidence and comparing to several known reference samples, eliminating everyone along the way, and then finally entering an unknown male profile into the CODIS, the DNA data bank here in Richmond. When there's no match, there are options for detectives. And the familial search, thanks to the Bureau of Forensic Services familial search program is an excellent option for attempting to connect the dots. In this case, we were able to work with Richmond PD, with Detective Pomeroy and Cubitt, and others, as well as the DA's office, DA inspectors that assisted us in getting to the end result, which was clearly evidence that was found at the crime scene matching a first-degree relative in the CODIS data bank. So I remind everyone that I'm very, very proud and grateful to the Sheriff's Office for giving us the resources so that we can meet the demands of today's DNA capabilities and possibilities. I'm grateful to our DNA supervisors. Here today is Tony Wynn, Dawn Romano, the manager of the Summit Crime Lab, Deb McCullough, as well as the rock star at the bench, that would be Helen Kim, who actually did the hands-on bench work that connected the dots with the evidence and the accompanying reference samples that were submitted. With that, I would just like to thank everyone again for your time and your presence. And God bless Mika's family, and God bless Mika. With that, I'm going to turn it to Dinah Becton, the DA here in Contra Costa County. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning. I'm Dinah Becton, the District Attorney for Contra Costa County, and on behalf of myself and my office, I once again this morning want to offer my sincere condolences to the family of Mika Wadley. I know it's been a long 22 years since this heinous crime was committed, and justice doesn't always come swiftly. However, through the perseverance of law enforcement to solve this case, that perseverance did not diminish over the years. The successful effort was due to the years-long investigation and the persistent work of law enforcement throughout California, who continued to work and to follow investigative leads that ultimately provided a sufficient DNA match to identify the suspect. And although this particular suspect died some days after the murder, I am hopeful that the family of Mika will have some degree of closure regarding their loved one's death. Today's announcement is a major testament to the determination of our law enforcement partners, forensic scientists, and investigators who continue to work on this case for over 20 years and who never gave up the search for the truth. Thank you to the Richmond Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners who worked tirelessly to ensure the pursuit of justice for Mika's relatives and family and members of this community for the horrific crime and the pain that it caused. We know that there's nothing that can bring Mika back, but we hope that today we have brought some semblance of closure for the family. May God continue to bless you. Thank you.